Hi, welcome to Lützerath. This is a lignite mining hotspot, and it is a hotspot where the climate crisis has been fueled and is continued to be fueled, and we are fighting against it. We are fighting against the pollution and the eviction of this place.
Yeah, so welcome everybody to Lützi News live. We are live every day here from around Lützerath, and today we will take you through the last days of what has been going on, a little bit of background, but also some current updates on the situation in Lützerath. We will talk about police violence and things that have not been going so well, but also a lot of solidarity that we've received from all around the world. And in the end, we have a big announcement for tomorrow's protest that's going to happen. Yeah, so maybe let's start and take you to a little bit of the background. And there I think we can see some videos and pictures, exactly. So why is Lützerath so important? Lützerath is connected to the Ignite area here in NRW in North Rhine-Westphalia. It is an lignite hotspot. The biggest source of CO2 in Europe is right here, and this is why we're fighting for this to stop. We think that in 2023 we cannot allow ourselves to mine even more coal, put more emissions in the atmosphere and fuel the climate crisis. We must fight for 1.5 degrees. We must fight to keep the promise of the Paris Agreement in place, and with the emissions that lay just underneath Lützerath, we can't achieve that. So this is why it's so important to fight for this. This little village of Lützerath, which you can see here in the background, actually now the coal has advanced even further. The hole has become bigger. And yeah, what is Lützerath? Lützerath is a village that is in this area that the fossil fuel company RWE wants to mine, and it has been captured by activists for 2.5 years. Here we see people have built structures all around the village, and they've built tree houses to make the eviction slower. They have captured a lot of buildings and built blockades on the street.
Yeah, and here, for example, you see something that looks like a yellow X, which is like as you can see here, the symbol of Lützerath and the protest. And also the question, why is it important to keep that place? Why did activists take that place, occupy it, and are fighting for Lützerath to stay? Because the 1.5 Paris Climate Agreement is super important, and Germany has a special responsibility for that. Germany is the 4th largest emitter of CO2 historically, and that means that we have to keep our climate promises, and therefore we can't burn the coal that is under Lützerath, and then there is no reason left to evacuate and demolish that village. And we also have that global responsibility to really hit the 1.5 degree and the Paris Climate Agreement, because the climate crisis is already here, it is already existent, and especially in countries of the global south, the so-called MAPA areas, that means most affected people and areas, people are suffering from the consequences. For example, last year in Pakistan and Balochistan, the floods that have been killed more than 1,000 people. So it's not only about a German village, it is also about a German village where several people had been forced to leave their home, but it's also about global climate justice and solidarity.
Yeah. So you see, we all stand here really motivated by trying to stop this climate crimes that are really going on from this fossil fuel company. So maybe let's take you to the current situation, to what has been happening in the last few days. Can we see some pictures maybe for this? There we go. So here we see activists really protecting the village of Lützerath with their own bodies. We see houses that have been occupied. We see the eviction that is going on. So here people have climbed roofs. We see police forces entering the village of Lützerath. They have now really completely surrounded the area of Lützerath as well. People are trying to use all sorts of strategies to make the eviction slower. They're hanging in between trees, on traverses, on hammocks, on tree houses. They are sitting down on streets that lead to the village of Lützerath in order to slow down the forces. And here we see an action that has taken place yesterday with a lot of famous people from all around Germany that said, we stand with the activists in Lützerath. We want Lützerath to stay, and this can't go any further than this.
Yeah, and therefore, unfortunately, we can see that the police keeps evicting, but and most of the ground structures have already been evicted, as well as most of the squatted houses. But on the other hand, many tree houses are still occupied by activists, and also the traverses. And yesterday we got the message that there is a tunnel also occupied by some activists, and they are keeping the police busy down there. So that has been quite of a surprise.
Yeah, here we can see a lot of machinery that the police has come with, trying to get people from upper structures. And maybe we can go forward to the video that we have from the tunnel. Not yet. Okay, okay, no problem. Then maybe we have some further material. Yeah, there we go. So they're also really trying to go into the existing structures and buildings. Here we have some big halls where, for example, the Solidarity Kitchen used to be, that has already had to stop. Here we see some higher structures in the kind of central square of activist Lützerath, as we can say.
Yeah.
The tower.
It's quite impressive.
And
so it's really impressive to see, if you've been able to see Lützerath from inside, it's really, I've always been impressed of how much people have been able to build up there, like so many tree houses and structures and places to just enjoy and learn a lot. And it's really sad to see how they are destroying everything in a few days.
Yeah, and that's really something I think that's really special about Lützerath, is that it has become this symbol of climate justice in Germany, where everybody kind of goes and where, everyone is focusing. People have been arriving from all over the country, but also internationally. The camp has been growing every single day. There's so many people that are so committed to this fight and that really say, this is one of the most important decisions that we can currently take and do in our own country to make sure that we do not fuel the climate crisis any little bit further.
Yeah, and I think that's also what keeps going the activists that are there, and also is motivating us, that we have so much international solidarity that really stands for a fight that we fight together, and that we can fight for climate justice on an international level. That is really great to see, and that's what I also love. I met so many people, many MAPA activists in Lützerath, which is really funny, just here in that little village. But it has been a place where I learned a lot about climate justice, and I think not only for me. So yeah. Do we have the video? If not, we can also keep on and tell a bit about the eviction and what we've heard about it, also the police violence. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's not going that well for the activists. So, from what we've seen and heard, and there is also there are many videos and pictures showing that the eviction is quite violent, and that the police is, for example, not acting in a legal way. They, for example, non-specialized forces are evicting people who are occupying places in higher altitudes, higher than 2.5 meters, which there is actually a law that says that if someone is higher than 2.5 meters, then they have to be specialized forces to evict them, also to
trained in climbing and trained in the specific security measures that we need to make sure that people are
and with the equipment as well, so that people have to be secure, especially the activists as well, and that is not guaranteed, and so they're risking the activists' lives.
So here we have a video of really how fast and furious the evictions are going. So whenever they take people out of the structure, they immediately destroy most of them. Here we see the big equipment and what else can we see? Oh yeah, someone that is hanging there that was connected to this building. So really sometimes the necessary security precautions have not been maintained. Here we have a video of an activist that is one of our reporters that's hanging in a tree.
And those ropes, these are the traverses, and people can also hang in there. And
what's important is that they're connected. So often the trees are interconnected with ropes to make it harder to take them down. But if carelessly police cuts down one tree, it may fall and then take down another person. And this is really threatening to those activists' lives. And this is what this video is currently critiquing. Here we see the press in the blue vests, and this is one of the pictures where we wanted to tell you about that. Really, there have been restrictions on the press. There have been reports, especially from yesterday, where press for a certain amount of hours was not allowed to go inside Lützerath to cover, or to go inside certain buildings that have been evicted. And this is very critical because we need press to be there to make sure that they can observe how the evictions are going on, that they can observe that things are going on in a safe way, that there's no unnecessary violence. And they have filmed cases of police violence where really police goes on and punches people. There have been reports from medics that said that there were head injuries among activists caused by police. So there's some really critical situations that police has not really kept the agreements and the kind of needed de-escalating kind of eviction that is needed here.
Here we see another video of an eviction of a person.
And they're shouting, "You are not alone, you are not alone."
Yeah. So that's how they take them down. I've also heard, here you see some medics, and that sometimes the police didn't let the medics get through, pass by and get to injured people, because they say they have their own people, but still you have to be allowed to get help from a neutral medic. That's also a right that activists should have. And
because medics are also a part of documenting, right, what has been going on. So if medics are inside and they can kind of talk about the kind of injuries that they're seeing, that is actually crucial to guarantee that the information is able to pass to others, also from medical specialists. And we've heard reports that medics were taken out actually already 1 or 2 days ago from Lützerath, and that most of them have not been able to go back, as far as I'm informed.
That might be, I just heard they were also not allowed, and in a situation where someone was injured, that they were not allowed to get to the person. And I think in conclusion we can just say that the police is not, they're breaking agreements, they do not act as they announced to do, and that is really risky for the activists because they rely on the police promises, and then they're not prepared. So yeah, and in general, the whole eviction is really violent for the activists. They can't rely on anything. They can't really, no one can assure that they get enough food, enough sleep. Because the police is just not communicating properly.
Yeah. So I think while really also for us kind of seeing all these images, witnessing everything from like live updates the whole day, this can feel quite frustrating, and this can take a lot of energy. So for us it was important to also bring all of us some messages of hope, right? And some messages of bringing us back to reminding ourselves of the global movement that we are part of the global struggle for climate justice. And this is why we were really moved by seeing a solidarity message from Colombia that we got yesterday from Yucpa village in the Wayu community. We have a representative here from the National Indigenous Organization of Colombia. Yeah, thank you so much to Colombia. Thank you for being together with us in this struggle and reminding us that we're all in this together, and a lot of strength for your struggle as well, right here from Germany.
I'm fine with you. Yes, and luckily there have been also other messages of solidarity, or just so much solidarity in general. For example, we had recently there was an occupation of the office. I think that's the first video, right? Yeah, here you see the office of the Green Party in North Rhine-Westphalia. That's the region we're in. And the Green Party is also responsible for the eviction of Lützerath.
Lützerath seid, die ihr vielleicht in diesen Tagen geräumt worden seid, zu unterstützen, zu sagen, wir sind solidarisch mit eurem Kampf.
And they're saying we're in solidarity with the struggle in Lützerath. We want Lützerath to stay, and this is why we're occupying the Green Party's office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there have been also other solidarity posts.
Maybe we can see them. Yes, this made us really happy to see from Sea-Watch 5. The whole crew sent us a huge banner and a picture. It's great to see how other movements are showing us that they're supporting, and this gives us, I think, a lot of strength always to see.
Yeah, just knowing that we're fighting together, supporting each other. And also in the last days there have been, like in recent days, many solidarity actions in cities all over Germany and also in other countries, and protests. For example, I think in Den Haag, and also, like for example, in Berlin, in Hamburg, in Heidelberg, and many other cities. Like there's been a whole list of solidarity actions that was really great to see.
Yeah, we got messages from Rojava, from Uganda, from really pretty much all continents that are really saying we see you, and thank you for being here to all of us. So that's been beautiful to see. Also there have been some important statements in Germany really kind of undermining and giving us a lot of energy from kind of the validity that the struggle here has in Lützerath. Just yesterday, Scientists for Future, with over 700 scientists, signed a letter pushing for a moratorium of Lützerath, which means they say we need the eviction in Lützerath to stop immediately, and we need new negotiations between the energy company and the government in order to make sure that this is not going any further. The scientists, they have listed a number of studies which you can find on their own website, but really undermining again that this coal that is under Lützerath is not needed. It's not needed for our energy security in Germany. It is not needed to guarantee the stability of our network. It's really not necessary. And this is purely a profitable decision that really prioritizes kind of company and economics over climate commitments like the Paris Agreement. And I think having this backing from scientists is something, of course, that our whole movement kind of is grounded on.
Yeah,
but it's been great to see that they again are demanding like for immediate stop. And there's been another letter, an open letter from 200 celebrities in Germany that has been already within a day signed by 15,000 people in a petition. Again, pushing for a moratorium, immediate stop. And I think the press also has been there from everywhere, right?
Yeah, like from all over the world, basically. There has been so much media coverage. For example, CNN has been reporting on Lützerath, I think also BBC, Al Jazeera, and also many big German media like Tagesschau, Die Zeit, just to name a few. So everyone is talking about it. That is really nice. And I think many people are also like understanding why we're here and why it's so important, because it's just, if you think about it, that just a big company that has already profited so much from this crisis is now deciding over people's lives and people's homes, and has so much influence on the government, and that can't be right.
Yeah. So all these solidarity messages really show us we are many here. We're not alone, although sometimes maybe if you're stuck on a tree house that's about to be evicted, it might feel like that. Really what they've been shouting before in the video, you are not alone. It's true. Everybody is showing their solidarity, is showing us that we're right with being here and with trying to protect Lützerath. And yeah, maybe with that we come to our end, because we also need you that are watching right now.
Yeah, and we have a little or a big announcement, because if you want to come here, you're always welcome. And especially tomorrow, that would be amazing, because we have a big protest going on here at 12 a.m. There is going to be a big protest. There are so many people coming from all over Germany. There are also organized bus travels, so maybe you can get a ticket. You can check if someone is offering that in your city. And there are also many international guests coming. For example, Peter Donatus, a Nigerian activist, climate justice activist, and Greta Thunberg. So yeah. It's gonna be really exciting tomorrow.
Yeah. So maybe with that and all the updates, we leave you. Please support us, support Lützerath. The coal under Lützerath is not yet gone, and we still have everything to fight for. We have so much to win for climate justice, not just here in Germany, but internationally. So be there, support us here in Lützerath. Come to the protest tomorrow, or find a protest in your city. Yeah, be there, and let's do this together.